I'm 91 years old, and there's something I need to tell you about hard work. It's not what you think. All my life, I believed one thing. If you work hard, everything will be okay. That's what my father told me. That's what his father told him. You wake up early, you do your job, you provide, you sacrifice, and one day it all pays off. That's what I believed, and I lived my entire life that way. I got my first job when I was 17. It wasn't much, just long hours in a small workshop, fixing things, lifting things, learning how to survive. I didn't complain. Back then, complaining didn't change anything. I met my wife when I was 23. She was kind, patient, the kind of woman who could make a bad day feel lighter without even trying. When we got married, I made a promise to myself. I was going to give her a good life. And in my mind, that meant one thing: work harder. So I did. I worked mornings, I worked nights, I worked weekends. If there was extra time, I filled it with more work. If there was an opportunity to earn more, I took it. I told myself I was doing the right thing. And maybe I was, at least in the beginning. We had our first child a few years later. I remember holding him for the first time, small, fragile, completely dependent on me. And I thought, I have to do more now. So I worked even harder. I missed his first steps. I wasn't there when he said his first word. But I told myself it was okay. I was doing it for him. That's what matters, right? That's what I kept telling myself. Years passed like that. Work, sleep, repeat. My wife would sometimes say, "You're never home." And I'd respond the same way every time. "I'm doing this for us." And she would go quiet. Back then, I thought her silence meant she understood. Now I know. It meant she was tired of not being heard. My children grew up, not slowly, not in a way I could notice. They just grew. One day they needed me for everything. The next day, they didn't need me at all, and I missed everything in between. The school events, the small conversations, the moments that don't seem important until they're gone. I thought I had time. That's the lie. You always think you have time. There was a night I remember very clearly. I came home late, like always. The house was quiet. My wife was sitting at the table alone. She didn't say anything when I walked in. She just looked at me. Not angry, not even sad, just distant. And she said something I didn't understand at the time. She said, "You're here, but you're not really here." I brushed it off, told her I was tired, told her things would get better, but they didn't, because I didn't change anything. I kept working, kept chasing this idea that one day I would slow down. One day I would make it up to them. One day we would enjoy everything I was building. But one day is a dangerous thing. It makes you believe you can delay what matters until you can't. My children became adults. They moved out. They built lives that didn't include me the way I thought they would. We talked, but not deeply. We saw each other, but not often. And I didn't understand why. I had done everything right. I worked hard. I provided. I sacrificed. Isn't that what a good man is supposed to do? That's what I thought. But here's the truth I learned too late. Providing for your family is not the same as being present in their lives. Money can build a house, but it cannot build a relationship. Time does that. And time was the one thing I didn't give. When my wife got sick, everything slowed down. For the first time in decades, I wasn't thinking about work. I was thinking about her, sitting beside her, watching her breathe. And all I could think about was everything I had missed. All the conversations we never had. All the moments I wasn't there. And I remember saying to her, "I did all this for you." And she looked at me with a kind of softness that hurt more than anger ever could. And she said, "I didn't need all this. I just needed you." That sentence stayed with me, because in that moment, everything I believed about hard work fell apart. I thought I was giving them everything, but I was giving them everything except myself. And that was the one thing they actually needed. After she passed, the house became quiet in a way I had never experienced before. Not peaceful, empty. There's a difference. I had everything I worked for, the house, the money, the stability, but none of it meant anything without the people I built it for. That's when I understood the truth. Hard work is not the problem, but what you sacrifice for it. That's where people lose everything. You don't need to stop working. You don't need to stop providing. But if your work is costing you your relationships, then it's not success. It's loss. And the worst part? You won't realize it until it's too late. So if you're listening to this right now, and you're working every day, telling yourself you're doing it for your family, ask yourself one question. When was the last time you were truly present with them? Not just in the same room, but really there, listening, talking, connecting. Because one day, they won't be waiting for you to come home, and all the work you did won't bring that time back. If I could go back, I wouldn't stop working, but I would come home earlier. I would sit longer at the table. I would listen more. I would choose moments over money. Because in the end, it's not about how much you gave them. It's about how much of yourself they actually felt. And that's the part I got wrong. Don't make the same mistake I did. Learn from my mistakes today.